Hello. You are watching an informative video to learn more about an English word. Perfect. P-E-R-F-E-C-T. Perfect. Definitions of perfect. Adjective. Having all the required or desirable elements, qualities, or characteristics, as good as it is possible to be. Perfect.
Hey everybody, my name is Liam. My pronouns are he, him, and his, and I'm here with the fantastic DW.
My pronouns are they, them, and theirs. And Liam and I have been kicking it since elementary school.
Way back.
And you are listening to What's Perfect Really podcast. Wait, Liam, before you go on.
Yeah.
I got it correct.
You did.
Title of our podcast.
You know, we have our script is wrong. When I read the script, it says the wrong version of the title.
Yeah, I just noticed that. So
you did a good job.
Thank
A+.
you.
On this podcast, we talk about transformative moments in music and the cultural impact that those moments had on our lives and the world around us.
And our mission is to bring light to the perfect moments in music we think deserve a little more appreciation. And today, y'all, we're going to talk about Be Prepared. It is, I'm going to say, by Scar in The Lion King. And who plays Scar in The Lion King? Jeremy Irons. I'm talking about the original, y'all.
The cartoon.
The original. Yes,
Yeah.
The cartoon.
Not the Broadway, not the
cartoon.
live people version or CGI version.
Right. The epic cartoon. One that was released in April 1994.
Wow.
So before we get into like what the song's about, Liam, how are you doing?
Doing good. I just got back from Puerto Rico. For those that do listen to our podcast regularly, we had a couple challenging recordings, particularly one in Puerto Rico where the internet where I was at in Puerto Rico is just not reliable. And we tried our best, but there was definitely some technical difficulties. Those are behind us now. Puerto Rico is much nicer than Massachusetts, but the internet in Massachusetts is better than it is in Puerto Rico.
Welcome back to the winter storm. How do you say it? Is it northeaster?
That's a very good question. It's like one of those things you never like stop to think about.
Northeaster? I don't know.
Nor'easter. I think it's like apostrophe. Is that's a
north
Nor'easter
and Easter. We are celebrating our time in the north, and it is Easter. And it is snowing. Okay, anyway, so I don't know how to pronounce that word, but whatever. So you are back. We are back. We had to pause on a couple of filming an episode because you were out living the high life in Puerto Rico. Can you name something that was like amazing, something that happened to you in Puerto Rico that was, oh my gosh, I'm so happy I went.
So in Puerto Rico, like I have family in Puerto Rico. I am not Puerto Rican at all, but like I have family there. And I visited periodically from time to time, but for short stints. So this is the first time I went basically for a month in Puerto Rico. And one thing that just never really like dawned on me till I was there for this extended period of time is just how consistently they have nice weather. So in Massachusetts, I think you could probably boil it down to like 10 to 25 days where you actually have a nice day. Right. Literally for the whole year, we probably have only that many days where it's like you look at it and you're like, damn, this is a fucking nice ass day. In Puerto Rico, it's like every fucking day is a nice ass day. And that's very different. So weather. That's where I go.
Wow.
And like you just be like out on the street and there's just like a pig just chilling there. Like he's doing his own thing. There's just like a horse over there. I actually like that part of Puerto Rico a lot too.
Yeah. I'm happy for your little break and your vacation, and shout out to Liam for graduating. Graduating.
It's never too late. You can be the old guy in class and still finish.
Graduating with a degree in mechanical engineering.
Correct. Yeah, you got
that true?
That's it.
Mechanical engineering. Yep. So that is the things that make things move.
Correct. Yeah. Like mechanical engineering is a lot of stuff in one, but it simply kind of be thought of as like when physical things are moving, mechanical engineering is kind of like studying that general idea. I think when people hear mechanical engineering, they think of like gears and like that you do study that, but it really is much broader, like just the physics of stuff moving and how that, you know, how to understand that best.
Okay. You can explain that to me to your blue in the face, and I still be like, so what is it again? I'm working on it. I'm working on it, y'all. But congratulations, fam. I know that's a long time coming, and I'm excited for you. I'm excited for you. And of course, we have the most important thing, our podcast and the people. So let's get back to The Lion King, released April 27th, 1994. We are talking about the song Be Prepared. It is delivered beautifully by Jeremy Irons, and we're going to get into that. Jeremy Irons, who plays Scar. But let's set the scene. Let's set the mood. What was happening? Where was I? Where were you? Where was our relationship? I don't know. Let me give a couple things. So 94, Nancy Kerrigan is attacked.
This is huge. Who was the girl that beat her up? It was like,
it's not wow, funny, shit. But it's okay. No, okay. So here's the thing: the laughing, totally like, okay, I can relate to the laughter, right? I can relate to the laughter because it's like, it's a mess of a story. Have you ever seen the Tonya Harding movie? That's
the lady that's what made me laugh. Not thinking about the woman getting hit, but like thinking about the lady who put the hit out on her. She was like, she just looked really trashy, like the stereotype of exactly how someone should look who like puts out a hit on a figure skater.
So let's say this, Tonya Harding.
Yes.
Did not, like, we don't know the facts, right? So allegedly, Liam is saying that.
Yes,
allegedly. But what I'm going to say is the Tonya Harding biography, she tells the story. Yo, I think it's I, Tonya. It is so good.
Really?
It is such a good movie. It's like you get to see, I love seeing people's stories, like just understanding, because to me, the stories that we have are the most sacred things that we can give people. And the shit that Tonya Harding went through in the ice skating world, and then how it plays out of like, she was around in the story, it's basically what I'm interpreting as her being around the wrong people and them making some bonehead decisions that involve her because she's attached to them. You know what I mean? So like the story, what I got from the story is that it wasn't necessarily Tonya being like, dude, get Nancy. You know, it was, so like in theory, you know how you have people in your camp who are goons and you're just like, that's just their job.
They're ready to jump out the window,
like, right. Or like that's how they move, and you can't control that. It more of like the story paints the picture. For me, what I took from it is that there was a moment that happened and it seemed advantageous for somebody to hurt Nancy Kerrigan. And so that took place. So I mean, but from somebody who didn't know the story then, like knowing this story, seeing the I time, you got to watch it. You got to watch that movie.
So it makes you more sympathetic to Tonya Harding.
Yeah, I mean, you understand her story. Like I always, when I was younger, I rocked with Tonya Harding because I love that that Tonya was just seemed on edge and was just like, yo, I'm doing this, you know. And I was for anybody who's a rebel, and that's what Tonya represented to me. You know, so I was devastated when the news first came out and it was all the fingers were pointing at Tonya Harding. I was so devastated because I was like, yo, Tonya Harding's that chick, you know, wow, and I was so sad. I was so sad. But, you know, nevertheless, like, I don't know all the framings of all the things, but I, Tonya is such a great movie that tells a great story. And you get like another picture, look at it. So anyway,
okay,
that's happening. So the Olympics are around the corner, and there's a civil war happening in Rwanda.
Oh, wow. It's like the Hutus and the Tutsis.
That's from my understanding. Yeah.
Yep.
And so I'm thinking like, you know, I'm 10 years old and I'm in 5th grade at this point. And Nelson Mandela is elected in the world, and O.J. Simpson is fleeing the police.
Is this one where he's in the Bronco, that truck?
The white Bronco.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting what you remember as a kid. Like, I just remember this being the O.J. Simpson trial being huge. Like, my mom was like, you're staying home for the verdict.
Oh, really?
Like, don't go to school. You're staying home for the verdict. You know, because it was one of those moments in I feel like it was a moment in Black lives where it's like, we always die. We always get killed. You know what I mean? And then I got this feeling it didn't matter whether or not OJ did it or not. to the black, like to the community I was around, the black people I was around. I was like, it didn't matter. All that mattered is that he was free, because it signified to us that we could be free, which was like, it was this really strange thing for me as a 10-year-old. That's what I was like digesting of like, oh, all the optics don't really matter.
Yeah.
But what matters is they don't convict this black man.
That's you're right. Because I think you and I were too young to appreciate like who OJ was from a celebrity perspective, but the racial element of how all that was happening, for me, that's also what I remember more than anything. It wasn't like that a celebrity was on trial. It was like this whole racial component. And
yeah, so this was happening. I remember staying home and the verdict coming out, and like my family being really excited about it and making a sign. It's really real. I made a sign. Oh gosh, my goodness.
What did it say?
The sign said, "Drink that OJ, it won't kill you."
Wow.
How do I remember that? I remember the adults around me being like, this is a grand thing. And now when you look back, you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But when you think about the culture, when you think about what was happening in Black culture and like the way that, at least from my perspective, it was always like we didn't have. We didn't have something, and someone was always taking something from us. Right. Or like someone was always saying, you're this bad person because you look like this. Or like I'd go play a sport and like we'd be beating the team, and then people would be like, you had to have the nigger. Why'd you put the nigger on your team? You know what I mean? Like those things would be happening. So it was like, I'm a 5th grader and all these things are happening around me. And then you get this one victory and it feels like a victory. It feels like a victory. But like when you think about all the pieces that go with it, is it really though? But I think like when you're in a situation where your back is constantly put against the wall, like being in poverty and then being dark skinned and then having all these intersectionalities, and you see the world from like this one place of I'm always being attacked. So at least like that's what I can recall when I was younger, feeling like, why is this like this? But nevertheless, some great moments are happening in 5th grade for me. I am in jazz and acrobats dance class.
Really?
Oh my gosh. And I am absolutely epically smashing these classes. Like, is
jazz like tap dance, or is it like way deeper than that?
Jazz,
tap dance, a whole other thing.
Jazz is like, I don't want to say it's like level 1 ballet with sass, right? I mean, it's totally different. It's like you're not the same techniques, but it's like you're dancing with attitude.
Okay.
Right. So it's almost like there's hip hop, and jazz is, I would define it as like a low tempered hip hop. Not really though. No, that's maybe it's a modern. Yes, maybe it's closer to a modern with sass. Okay. So anyway, I don't know if that helps at all, but I did my best. I did my best.
I'm learning. I didn't know this stuff about you. So,
but when you look at a Janet Jackson video in the 80s and you look at Miss You Much, great example of beautiful jazz.
Okay.
Miss
that's
you
helping
much.
me.
I miss you. Okay. Anyway, so I'm in acrobats class, and that's the one where you do flips and stuff like that. Oh, I'm tearing it up. I'm the back bends. I'm working on my splits, all this stuff, and then I get this opportunity to go see Lion King.
In the movies.
Okay. Which was like a gift for me. So for those of you who don't know Lion King and don't know the song, what the song is about, Scar on the song, who's played by Jeremy Irons, is talking about be prepared, is what the song is called. And they're talking about overthrowing the current king. So Scar is the brother of Mufasa, who's the king. And Scar is also dark skinned.
Wow.
Right.
I never even thought about that.
Let's all recall. Go back to the movie. Scar is dark.
You're totally right. Because there's like this kind of like grayish darkness to him, almost like he's always in a shadow.
Yes. Right. Mufasa is always in the sun. And so is Simba. There's a golden lightness to them, right? A golden tint to their coat or whatever. So Scar is talking about overthrowing the king, and which is Mufasa at the time. So this is epic because, you know, I never really went to the movies. So this is great. It was a great opportunity going to the movies and like other things that were in the movies that were happening. So I feel like this was a golden age for movies, maybe because I was younger, and I was like, this is great. My Girl.
No, wow. Macaulay Culkin.
Can't see without his glasses. Right. Little Giants. Icebox. Do you know Icebox throwing the football?
I don't even know. Oh, Icebox from the movie Little Giants.
From the movie Little Giants.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha. Yep.
Yeah. A Low Down Dirty Shame. I don't know if you know that movie, but
Jada Pinkett.
Yeah. Jada Pinkett in A Low Down Dirty Shame when she punches the guy. Okay. In the movie, who she thinks is the character. Okay. Like she thinks. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know this part, but
okay.
Which you still. I remember the movie coming out, and I remember because the name of the title always made it.
And then Crooklyn. So
I did watch
Crooklyn is with all these kids and the one girl. Right. I think like there was like one girl, whatever. And I was like, I'm really winning out here for movies because a lot of them I can relate to, you know, and then The Lion King comes out. So all of these things are happening in my world. What am I watching? I'm watching Gargoyles, X-Men, Sonic, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I am watching Power Rangers because they're epic. I'm dreaming of the Purple Ranger that I would be casted one day. And
Power Rangers is super fucked up. Like the whole color scheme is like, I can't even believe they did that. Like
I know, right? It's like the Black Ranger is black, the Yellow Ranger is Asian, the Pink Ranger is right. I'm like, I guess we define as a white woman, but
yeah,
I don't really. She didn't look like she was just straight white. But anyway, and then the Blue Ranger, the Smart Ranger is blue.
Is that right? Like the Smart Ranger's glasses?
Yeah, and then the leader is the Red Ranger, the white guy.
Yeah,
it's pretty on brand for how we like to yes present in movies. Pretty on brand. Yeah, so it was. I was dreaming of being a purple Power Ranger.
Who was the purple Power Ranger?
There was none. I was going to be the purple Power Ranger. That's what I'm telling you. I created it all in my head. They were casting me, everything. So that's what's happening in the world. And let's see, Doggy Style is out.
Great album. Yeah.
Cream, Wu-Tang. Okay, so these are songs that I remember that were playing in my house at the time.
Yeah.
It was like this dichotomy of like, I go to school in an all white town, but when I go home, my house is all black. I'm listening to Snoop. Y'all are listening to Alanis Morissette. What's happening here? I'm listening to Wu-Tang. Y'all are listening to, I don't know. It was No Doubt big at that point. I don't know. But
I think Nevermind, like Nirvana. They were probably big.
Oh, Nirvana. Yeah.
I feel like 1994 was like a golden year for just music in general.
Yeah. Okay. Painting all the pictures. Liam, where are you? What's happening? Lion King is out. What's happening with you?
Lion King's out. So I remember I saw Lion King at the movie theaters. I was in Texas visiting family, and like I'm a kind of like go to Texas. I don't have any brothers, sisters. I'm there with my cousins, my aunt and uncle, and they invite me to go to the Lion King. And it was like this like summer camp kind of vibe. It wasn't just family. It was like a whole bunch of kids. And I was like the one who didn't know anybody. So I felt super awkward. So I'm in there, I'm watching it. And I do remember this vividly because I like cried at some point during the Lion King, probably when Mufasa dies. And then I was like real self-conscious because like, yo, like no one knows me. And I'm fucking like crying like in the movie theater. And like, you know, so I think I hid it enough that no one knows. And it was dark in the movie theater. But like, I remembered I knew I cried and that impacted me. I felt very bad about that.
When it's for me, it's the moment when Simba is like, Dad, wake up.
It's awful. Like, yeah, that must have been it. Yeah.
The pod. I'm like, you know, but you know, my 5th grade self is not a crier. I am not a crier. So I'm solid. I'm solid with watery eyes.
You didn't cry?
With watery eyes. I think I might have cried. I remember my eyes watered.
Who'd you watch it with? Were you with family? Were you with a group?
I was with a friend's father had invited the two of us to go see it together. So I was with a friend and her father. Okay. And we went to go see it. And it was like a great moment to cry if I wanted to cry.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds like a safe space to cry and let it out.
But there's no crying. There's no crying where in my mind. when I'm that age. There's no such thing. That's only weakness. So
that's how I felt, but I couldn't stop it. It's like it was happening. I was
like,
a little older than you. Like I'm at that age where you're finally like old enough to be like, I'm supposed to be a man. And meanwhile, like you haven't really hit puberty yet either. But
people are like, man up.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if that phrase was there yet, but there's enough of them like it for you. I can imagine to be like, this got to be. That must be hard though.
And I'm an ugly crier, so there's no way to like play it off. I'm very fair skinned, and when you're fair skinned, like everything turns red and blotchy. So yeah.
Ooh. Okay. I've never seen that moment. I don't think. I've only seen some heavy sighs from you.
See, I learned.
That's as deep as
Lion
it gets.
King taught me. Yeah, you can't do this in public, man.
In all of our years.
Yeah.
Are we really friends? Are we really friends? No.
You haven't seen somebody cry. Are you their friend?
Right. I'm sure like every moment I've cried. Liam, my life. It's upside down. I think I cried when the first time I was high with you. That first time.
Yeah, that might have been like crying, but like when you experiencing all emotions at once. So it's not like it wasn't a pure cry moment. It was like
terrible. Okay. Back to this epic song. So I hear the song, and there's so many songs that are so epic in this soundtrack, right? I Just Can't Wait to Be King. Can You Feel the Love Tonight? Elton John does the thing, right? And whoever's supporting Elton John, I don't know who that is, but Tim Rice. And then this song comes up. And for me, it's almost like, you don't want to like Scar, but Scar has this, let's say, this diabolical kind of way that they approach things. But what also is wonderful about Scar to me, now that I look back, it's like, what is it about Scar that I loved that I felt like I couldn't say out loud, right? Just in the way Scar moves. So when I was younger, Scar moved like a snake to me.
Yeah.
Now that I'm older, Scar moves like that cat, like this sensual. It's almost like Scar reminds me of Prince in a way, right? Like this very sensual, seductive creature, and is like convincing you without effort. But yeah, this is the best choice. The best choice is to be prepared so that we could take out the king and their whole family. And so what makes this song for me so epic is that when you hear it, or when I heard it, I was like, well, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Of course you're supposed to. I mean, the plan is great, and the way that Scar goes about saying the things, and the way that Scar comes across in the song is just like so sweet.
Were you
right? It sounds sweet.
Team Scar?
No, okay, so I wasn't Team Scar.
Okay.
I wasn't Team Scar.
Wow.
Right? Like as a kid, I'm like, yo, no, this is the worst. This is the worst, the worst possible thing that can happen. But now that I'm flashing back and I go back to the song and I listen to it early, like in my life, when I'm in the car and Spotify comes up and it's in a rotation, I'm like, this song is actually pretty dope. But think about it. I learned so many vocab words from this song, right? So even when I go into successions, right? But we're talking kings and successions. Even you can't be caught unawares. Successions. What is successions? I had no idea, right? So my vocabulary is being built here. And this it's also devious. Like it's a very devious plan.
Yeah.
Right. So these things are happening, and they're planning in the movie to take out the king. But I'm sitting back and thinking about what makes this moment so epic, because then you also think the hyenas, like they're having all these moments. This Sakura moment. There's, this marching that's happening, and it's being layered, and there's flames coming up in the video, and there's shadows and silhouettes, and Scar is in this dominant position, looking down at everybody, marching and being like, yes, we're with the plan, Scar, we're with the plan. And Scar has all the control. Almost Scar is like the person you want to be in a lot of sense.
Yeah, Scar like convinces them. The song starts off and they're like, they're idiots, the hyenas, right? And they have no idea what he's talking about. They don't even think something like this is possible. And then the whole song is like he convinces the hyenas, and at the end, you're right, they're like this built up army.
Right. And so, I mean, so I'm thinking about, I'm having this moment, and it's one of those moments when I was sitting in the movie theater and I was thinking to myself, all of these are great songs, but in this song stands out to me the most. Right. And I don't know if that's kind of like when we talked about Creep, the relatability of it's something that's off, like it's off balance in a way. Like you were not supposed to relate to this, but we all do.
Yeah.
We all relate to this person. Like I'm curious about what Scar's story was, right? Like why? How did you get here? How did you get here, Scar? How did that happen?
What's his I, Tanya story?
Exactly.
He's like the Tanya Harding of Disney.
Yo, Tanya. Okay, so here's the story in the Tanya piece.
Yeah,
I, Tanya movie. There's a part in the movie. If you didn't see it, like, I mean, this is not gonna ruin it for you, but whatever. Her boyfriend shoots a gun as she's running out to the car, and he shoots the gun, and it, what is it when it glides across her forehead?
Oh,
like the bullet grazes.
Yeah,
it grazes from her ear to her forehead, and I think she had to skate like the next day.
Wow.
But I'm saying, like, this is happening in her world while she's on the ice. You know what I mean? Trying to figure out her life on the ice, like she's getting shot at. And I'm like, yo, so what is happening in Scar's world that you are planning to literally kill your brother and their entire family and like their lineage? That to me is like some deep rooted stuff must have happened there. Are we gonna
you need the prequel. You need like the Scar prequel, like when Mufasa and Scar like little kids.
Are we gonna get the upbringing? What happens with Scar and Mufasa? How does Scar get there? Yeah. Right. So anyway, so I'm thinking this is great. Some of the lyrics that really stood out to me when I was like, because you know, when you're little and you're listening to it and you're like, oh my gosh. So prepare for the coup. I didn't even know what a coup was. Prepare for the coup of the century. Be prepared for the murkiest scam. Meticulous planning, tenacity spanning, decades of denial is simply why I'll. Oh my gosh. Jeremy Irons like nails this.
Yeah,
it is so beautiful. It's so beautiful the way that Jeremy goes in and out, and the accent. Wait, Jeremy's British, I believe. Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I feel like that could be possible. I feel like anyone that speaks like very well is British.
Oh my gosh. What is even very well?
You know, like enunciate the whole word and like, I don't know if that even makes sense.
I don't know. Sounds
he seems British. I don't know. I get a British vibe from Jeremy Irons.
Yeah, I think actually Jeremy is British. So Jeremy's doing this, and it's completely every single time these lines nailing it. The nuances, like the little nuances of going in and out of like the nuances of tone and the inflection in the voice, right? So I'm thinking of a moment when he's prepare the murkiest scam. Yeah. So the hanging on is simply why I'll. That hanging on of that word right there is just it's so beautiful and juicy to me. And then going into be king, undisputed, respected, saluted, right? Boom, brings it up, and it's like, and seen for the wonder I am, right?
Yeah, he's really selfish. There's like a Trump vibe with how he like looks at leadership and power. It's like, what's it doing for him? And not like, he doesn't talk about the greater good.
Yeah, no, that I mean, and that's a great, I think it's analogy or comparison. It's totally. I get that vibe. But here's the also thing too, is that there's this, when I talk about a sensuality to Scar, where it's like, it's uncomfortable. It's a little uncomfortable because you're likable, because when I think about the Scar Prince thing, it's like, I don't know why I like you or I appreciate you, but I do. And I think that they really, really get that. That comes across in this song with this character, but particularly in this song. And I think I'm not really sure if everybody else feels this way, but I would say that people could probably be in denial about this. Like, I think people really like, this is a lot of people's bops. This is a bop for a lot of people. a lot of people, like when they go to the Lion King soundtrack and this song comes on, I feel like it's a bop. And I don't know if people are really proud of it, but you should be, because it certainly is a bop.
Yeah, I mean, good music's good music. Yeah, it doesn't always have to be like, yeah, I'm with you.
So, I mean, for me, I like the reason why I believe, like, in the end, I feel like I have all the pieces emotionally. It takes me on a roller coaster. The storytelling of this diabolical story that gets captured in this song, I think is just excellent. And I'm thinking of a line. Go ahead.
I'm sorry to cut you off. Like, what makes it sensual? Like, I get what you're talking about. Like, as I watched it, obviously preparing for this, and like, he does move seductively, and I think his like eyes are, I don't know what's the word to describe Scar's eyes, but there is something going on there. You're right.
No, but think about it. Okay, so when you look at the video, when y'all go back, because I know some of y'all are going to go back, or most of y'all, if not all of y'all, are going to go back, and you're going to look at this. You're going to look at this moment, and it goes, so prepare for a chance of a lifetime. Be prepared for sensational news, right? At that moment, sensational, that little, I don't know what it's called, but accent. Scar does this thing with the shoulder and like the hair, just like
the flip. Yeah, now I remember it. Yeah, it does this, like
flips.
The shampoo commercial flip. Yeah,
yeah, it flips, and they just like crunch up all the right way, like their body scrunches and releases tension, and it's just such a beautiful. Wait, maybe it's Maybelline. Wait, no, is that Maybelline Pantene Pro V? But it's like a shampoo commercial for real. And it's that moment where it's like Scar is giving us everything. It's giving us everything. Like, to be quite honest with you, Scar is like queer to me, you know, because I'm just like, you know, Scar, you've got like all of this energy that is completely charismatic in all the things. And so I think maybe that is the moment of like, this person is in touch with all of the things, all of the sensibilities that it is in our sensuality that maybe we are afraid of, right? So Scar is also quote unquote evil because they're not afraid to be sensual. They're not afraid to tap into those tender moments within like the human body. And that, to me, now looking back, is, for me, it was uncomfortable when I was younger, but now I'm like, ooh, that's juicy. Yeah. You know, but like, how far have I come, right? How far have I come in understanding what it means to be in intimacy, be intimate and like in relationships. So that, for me, when I look back at Scar and I think about that and sensational, that moment, it's like, oh, Scar's a G. Yeah. I think I slept on Scar. I really did.
Scar, the best Disney villain. Let's put the people in the box who are there. What's the bad guy from Aladdin?
Jafar,
Scar.
But think about it. Scar and Jafar have similar. What is it? What's the word? They have similar characteristics. Very much same tones. Very much same like maybe mannerisms. Yeah. In a lot of ways.
This thing you're talking about earlier, like kind of like panthery, snaky type of movements.
Right. Let's think another villain. Cruella de Vil.
That's the Dalmatian one, right?
Yeah. A little bit older, but some of the same, like, to me, some of the same things. But I mean, but in the song, when we talk about the storytelling that comes across here, it's just wonderfully written. Yeah. It's wonderfully written. Like, from point A to B, you're getting an in-depth story in detail about, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to explain to you. And the part where Scar's like, with a king, he'll be all-time adored. Okay, hold on. It's great that we'll soon be connected. With the king, he'll be all-time adored. Of course, quid pro quo. You're expected to take certain duties on board. I'm like, ooh.
Oh, he says that in the song?
Yes. Wow. Yes. It's like, I'm doing you these favors. So I'm expecting for you to return whatever it is I need to return when I ask for it to be returned. And so I'm just like, this is sneaky. This is sneaky, but it's also brilliant, and think about it. Like, when you say some of the most polarizing people have these qualities, right? And I think that's when you're talking about a villain, they're polarizing, I think, in a way.
And I
When
think
go ahead.
I just like was marinating on it. Scar is the worst villain because like he kills his brother. Like remember that this like we talked about earlier. The scene where he kills his brother is like the most memorable scene I think in any Disney thing. Maybe not. Maybe that's a stretch, but it is up there.
Yeah.
And no other villain has a scene like that. So it's Scar to me.
That's true.
I think he's the meanest, worst villain.
That's true. Digging your nails
Yeah.
into someone and saying words and
And
looking
looks
them
deep
in
in
their
his eyes and kills the dude. Like this is Disney where like usually you don't like body the other person unless it's like real old school Disney. Like new school Disney wasn't bodying people like that. And Scar totally bodies Mufasa.
Yeah, that's true. It's very deep.
Usually they put like a curse on him or like lock someone away, right? They don't just like kill him. Like,
yeah,
Mufasa got killed.
no. Yeah, I mean that backstory between Scar and Mufasa, like I wonder what happened there. Because that motivation, yeah. No, that's true. I think the way you bring it up, like, yeah, Scar does do the dirtiest thing. So, but I think like what is unique about it is I mean, well, I think you get this in a lot when you have really great voiceover actors that can come in and take something kind of like Robin Williams did with Genie. You know, you have somebody come in and they do something sensational, you know, and like the casting of that, I think was a wonderful choice. The casting, and it came across it for me. It did everything it needed to do. And I don't know if this was the scene before, or a couple scenes before Mufasa.
Yeah,
takes like Scar kills Mufasa, but this was like the building. It builds this kind of like, oh, this is like, it's not really that dirty what they're gonna do because it sounds good. Sonically, it sounds good. It couldn't be that dirty.
Yeah.
You know, and then when
Maybe
you see what happens, you're like, Scar is serious. You were serious about that. So when I walk away, I think for me, like when you're talking about the best villain, the delivery of the lines, I mean, the attention to the detail. And I think this happens, you know, with great voiceover work in general, is finding the little moments in which you can emphasize or you can bring life to certain words. And when we talk about sensational, just picking that up, sensational news, right? That to me is great acting.
Yeah,
it's great acting. So if I'm walking away
with musicals, there's two things: you're singing and you're acting at the same time. Like a straight up song, it's all about like the singing part of it. And you're right, with Broadway, musical, anything like that, it's two things are happening at the same time, which does make it different.
I think it's also tough though too, because when you're talking about singing, when we go back to Vincent, there's a lot of emoting that's happening there, right? Because you could be having a terrible day, but when you go on stage and you're singing the song, you're creating, either you're diving deeply into that emotion to be able to bring it out for people to feel, and people are connected to that, and some people are not able to do that, and you can feel it in the songs when they're not able to do that, and you can feel people who are really able to do it when they're having a terrible day. And that's like Whitney Houston with I Will Always Love You. On the set of that video, Whitney's like, I wasn't loving anybody. Like it was having a terrible day. I didn't want to be there, but I had to sing this damn song that everybody loves. And I had to hit these damn notes and I didn't want to do it. But when you watch the video, people are like, this is epic. And Whitney Houston is mad as hell.
Oh, wow.
Right. So
I didn't know that.
But thinking about what actors bring, like even musicians, you're acting and the nuances that it takes. Because I think sometimes people look at this stuff and they're like, I could totally do that. And then when you get on a mic and then you realize you have to do something with your voice that you don't know how to do because someone has studied for 10 years to do that. And then you're like, it kind of humbles you real quick. I'm like, why doesn't my stuff look like that? Or why doesn't that look like that? And so I think the reason why I appreciate this so much is because it's so tiny and it's so small and it doesn't look like, to maybe the average person who's not in the world of artistry regularly, it could seem like something that is easily doable, but these things are not. And I just absolutely love the way that it comes across. I love that the way that Scar is depicted in it and the way that they use the body movements to sync with the lyrics and the tone, all the things. It's just, for me, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. And I'd listen to it 100 times over every single time just to get every single pocket of every single piece. So that's why this song to me is absolutely perfect. Fantastical moment for you?
I like when Scar is he tells the hyenas in the song that like he's gonna kill the king. And they just sound like knuckleheads, right? And then they just like they're like a step late, and then Scar has to be like, yo, let's get it together, guys, and like get them back on track. And so he convinces them that they're gonna kill the king, and they're like, yay, there's no king. And then he's like, no, stupid, I'm the king. They're like, yay, you're the king. And it's just like, I don't know. I laugh out loud when I hear that part every time.
Yeah, no, like when they're doing like, yeah, no king, nah,
Exactly right. Yeah.
He's like,
Idiots.
it's like these idiots.
Yeah.
I will be king.
Yeah.
You'll never go hungry. See, clearly I know the whole story. You'll never go hungry again.
Yeah.
For me, I think as a small person in 5th grade, looking back at this, even now, it's still it's just so slick to me. The line that goes meticulous planning, tenacity spanning, decades of denial is simply why I'll. Man, that with AABB format right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a bar.
Those bars. Those bars. I wonder if you put that in a rap song, would that be like?
I feel like it could. I feel like it could get pulled off correctly.
Would it be like an Eminem hi-hat?
Yeah. He would find a way to make it annoying, but it would still be like,
it would be one of those things. Meticulous planning, tenacity spanning, decades of denial is simply why I'll. Yep. Yeah, that's it for me. Those bars right there. I wonder if you could rap those on a rap song. You think you could do it, Liam?
Like me personally?
You personally. Like those 4 bars. Any beat.
Yeah, but I feel like you would have to take some like creative liberties with it to make it like sound appropriate.
Let's do it. Let's do it right now.
Well, I don't have them memorized.
Meticulous planning, tenacity spanning.
Meticulous planning. So I feel like it would have to be like with one of those beats that like.
Hold on, no, I'm gonna give you a beat right now. Just here's the words: meticulous planning, tenacity spanning. Decades of denial.
Oh no, not that part. Yeah, I feel like that's where it breaks apart for rap. Decades of denial.
Meticulous planning, tenacity spanning. But that's what.
That part works.
Planning, tenacity spanning. Was that 2 bars?
Well,
okay. Wait.
Yeah, but decades of denial. I feel like that in rap music just don't work.
It's simply why I want to see if you can make it work. I mean, I'm putting you on the spot, but why not? You think you can do it?
Well, I already forget the lyrics. Meticulous planning.
Tenacity spanning. Decades of denial.
Decades of
simply
denial.
why I'll. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can make a beat for you.
Are you about to beatbox? That was about to happen?
I'm gonna do my best. I've been beatboxing for the baby. I've been beatboxing for the baby. This is what they sound like. They'll see my lips and they do this. That shouldn't be blowing into the mic. It shouldn't be blowing into the mic, but that's what they're doing. They'd be like, that's what they do.
So they're learning.
They're learning. All right, here we go. Let me see.
I feel like it has to be a slow beat.
It has to be a slow beat.
Kind of like new style hip hop. Yeah, it can't be like old breakbeat shit.
Look, come on, man. Like, I'm limited in my
my bad. I'm sorry.
Everybody's on the spot. Let me see. We're doing it. Hold on, let me try to get off the mic a little bit.
What is it? Tenacity.
Only do a boom bat though.
That's fine. You could just, as long as you keep the rhythm to it. What is it? I forget the lyrics again. I'm supposed to write this down or something.
Meticulous planning. Yeah.
Tenacity spanning. Okay.
Tenacity spanning. Look, just gonna do 4 bars. Decades of denial. Simply why I'll. Yes, they spin that out. So that's 4 bars. So meticulous planning, tenacity spanning. Are you writing this down?
Hold on. Jeez.
Yeah, you come on. And then we'll wrap because, oh, by the way, for people who don't know Liam, here's a little tidbit that he probably doesn't want me to say. And if he really doesn't want me to say it, he'll cut it out of this. Cut it out of this podcast. Liam used to be known as Skittles.
Yeah.
We're going to get into that. And then Eminem came out. Oh, you should tell a story
Totally
about
stole my
that.
thunder. Yeah. It's like, oh no, another white rapper named after candy.
Right.
Yeah, that's a whole story unto itself. But yeah.
Skittles could no longer exist.
Yeah, it had to
Maybe
be Skit.
maybe not.
And I think
Had to be
it
Skit.
naturally became that too. But yeah, when it was Skittle, it was like very confusing for everybody.
Also, fun fact. Liam produced the intro and outro music. Shout out to Liam.
Yeah.
Liam.
Yeah.
All right. Skit. All right. Here we go. You ready?
Now, hold on. I'm writing it down. Tenacity spanning. What was the first part?
Meticulous planning. Tenacity spanning.
Thank God for autocorrect. Meticulous planning. Tenacity spanning.
Decades of denial.
Decades of denial.
It's simply wild.
Denial. Simply wild.
Look, whatever you do right now, Liam, it's gonna be epic. I'm just gonna tell you that because it's hard. It's hard. And I'm gonna give you some probably boom bap beat that's like, who knows if I can keep a steady beat right now.
It's all right. I think I'm gonna majorly let everybody down, but I'll try.
Yeah, I believe in you. I believe that whatever it is gonna be is gonna be. Here we go. Hold on.
It just sounds like you're trying to. Okay, my mistake. Go ahead. Please continue.
Hold on. Nope.
How come I can't hear you though? Like I feel like when you start beatboxing, it goes quiet. Yeah, I literally can't hear.
Can you hear me
I'll
now?
just do a beat on the table.
Hold on. No. Here we go. I got this.
There you go. It goes quiet though. Don't do it right into the mic. Maybe go off mic a little bit. I feel like it's turning you down for some reason. I'm telling you, it's too quiet. Hold on.
Okay, hold on. I can't bank. Okay, hold on.
I feel like we've gone off the rails here. Meticulous planet. Simply wow. I don't think it's possible actually.
I'm invested.
There you go. I just have to hear a beat. Okay, let me do the beat. Not because you're not doing it, because I think Zoom is setting up your whole thing in a different way.
All right, whatever. Are we getting it? Are we gonna do it? We've come this far. Are we gonna make it, Liam? Here we go.
Meticulous planning, tenacity spanning. Okay. Meticulous planning, tenacity spanning. Yeah, it sounds terrible. I sound like an 80s rapper. No offense to 80s rapper.
It was a good try. 20 minutes for that try, but it was great. It was great to hear it. Let me try it.
Okay,
go ahead.
Hold on. Let me do the beat. Right, I'm gonna do a beatbox because now I can actually do it. All right.
Okay. Go ahead. I hear nothing.
Yeah, Zoom fucks up our beatbox. Apparently, Zoom fucking hates on beatboxing. I'll do the table beat with my hands.
Do the table beat.
Okay.
Okay, I can kind of hear it. Not really though. There it is. This is a We Will Rock You beat. Okay. Here we go. Oh, watch me finesse this. Go ahead. At least I think I am. Here we go. Give me the We Will Rock You again. Okay, barely hear it. Okay. Doon da. Meticulous planning, tenacity spanning. Decades of denial is simply wild. Ooh!
I think you did good.
Wow!
It was fire.
The crowd goes wild. Wild. All right. I think we're done.
Yeah. On that.
All right. Let me close this out. Look, it's been a pleasure, y'all. Let you know that you can find us on IG at What's Perfect Really Podcast. And also, if you have some stories, some questions, some comments that you'd like to send to us, send them to What's Perfect Really Podcast at gmail.com. And as we always say, we invite you to take what you want from the podcast and leave what you don't, because ain't nobody perfect.
Hello. You are watching an informative video to learn more about an English word. Perfect. P-E-R-F-E-C-T. Perfect. Definitions of perfect. Adjective. Having all the required or desirable elements, qualities, or characteristics, as good as it is possible to be. Perfect.